Hello everyone, this is CJ Novo 992 and today we're back for another brand new video, and as you can see on the Nasher people, we are brimming for ear to frickin' ear to talk about Giovanni's Rangers side as we went to Tynecastle and done what we've not done in a while. Win, and not only win people, go ahead and take in a cheeky wee clean sheet. That's right people, I said a clean sheet at Tynecastle, and that's after a clean sheet at Easter Road, two of the most difficult places you can go through in a frickin' season. Well, not only have we went there and got the job done, we are styling and profiling people because Gio's took to Scottish football like me to cheesy crap jokes people. It just works out, and it is right now for Giovanni as he continues his undefeated streak. That is now 6 games in charge of Rangers, 5 wins in that period, thankfully all of them being where it matters most, and that is league football. The only blemish on the old win record is an away performance, an away draw, 1-1 versus Lyon. I think we can let him off with that a little bit, but when you dive in and you look even further into Giovanni's start to Rangers, this Giovanni revolution, that is now 12 goals scored and only 2 conceded. What we are seeing right now is not only us back to looking like the rampant Rangers champions, but it's better than probably what any of us were expecting when Gerrard left and left us in the circumstance that we found ourselves in. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, there's a smile on this national, and there's almost a weight off the old shoulders in that again, because I hated going to Tynecastle, right? Steven Gerrard's Rangers had me hating Tynecastle so much. I hated the time capsule because it sounded like Tynecastle. That's how much I hated watching Steven Gerrard's Rangers team at Tynecastle, because we didn't win in the last 3 efforts, and some of the performances, no adjusting to anything. It was painful to watch, and despite a couple of scary moments in that game, what I saw was the champions of this country going to a difficult place and getting those frickin' points. But I guess it's time to actually go ahead and discuss the actual game of football then, shall we? Because it is a wonderful advert for Scottish football, and I think when you saw both lineups you went, well, both teams are actually gone for it, and that's the way it should be. And I love the fact that Giovanni took that handbrake. I think he experimented a little bit with the handbrake at Easter Road with Stephen Davis and Glenn Kamara just to see what that looked like, but I think it looked like the same way as it did to all of us. Very, very slow, and it kind of limits how quickly we can transition from defence to attack. So once again, he reverted back to the Glenn Kamara role in the middle of the park, just letting him do the job of what he would ask, or what was previously asked of Stephen Davis and Glenn Kamara. And he went with Arfield on one, Aribo on the other, and in the attacking 3, oh my goodness gracious, sweet balls of fire, people. I think we've found something with Morelos there, Aribo here, Tentacles there, and Sakala there. Just called them Tentacles. Don't look at me, Ryan, I'm sorry. But I think we were all expecting goals in this game, and drama and excitement, and that's exactly what we got. But it does have to be said, ladies and gentlemen, it was Hearts that started off very, very well. After Connor Goulton missed, Joe Aribo by this, people, that's right, by this, with a long ball that actually gave Hearts the ball back, and they started to look threatening, and they done their own long beautiful pass in behind the Rangers defence. This time Boyce brings it down nicely, and he tries a wee Scotty Arfield versus Livingston, opens the body up, tries to lift it beyond the goalkeeper. But what I love, if you go back and look at it, McGregor just makes a quick little step. He almost anticipates that that's exactly what he's going to go with. He's not going to go with a volley, so he doesn't need to be close to try make himself as big as possible. That is sensational goalkeeping for Alan McGregor. The couple wee steps back just before Boyce pulls that trigger allows him to get that Schwager pull up and flick it at the top of the bar. Long may that continue, by the way. And speaking in long may that continue, we had big Connor Goulton with the ball at his feet, so you know exactly what that means. The traditional long ball out to Ryan Kent. And what I love now is, again, Ryan Kent with the chalking about. Sorry, I'm not going to try and bore you or anything like that, but this is what makes this goal in that as well. Where in the previous, we've seen Ryan Kent be funneled in the middle and trying to get in behind, which is not really his game. He's able to get out wide, bring the ball down on a 6-pin, sell the defender, just a dummy run that way, runs wide and actually be a winger. Get wide and put the ball in. No need to cut in and run about and do this or this. No, get wide, beat your man and ask the defence a question. That's exactly what Kent does, and Morelos is just a whisker away for getting these big 56-pence head on the bad boy. But it drops to Sakala outside the box, and he does have Arfield there. But what I love about Sakala is he's all positive all of the frickin' time, because he sizes his man 1v1 and he just says, nah, you're done. Goes on the outside. The boy's falling about the place like he's actually ice skating at the time catch. Oh, yeah, the shot. He's He's completely beat, and Sakala, heat up, picks out Alfredo Morelos, who has a phenomenal finish to give Craig Gordon absolutely no chance. And even if you want mere styling points on that beautiful, Big Ryan Kent's dropping a wee bit of the old starfish, a wee star jump as well over the ball, just to add some golf celebrations. Sensational quick fit ball, no messing about, no. Let's get it wide, let's get it in the box, let's ask defences some questions. And that was a massive goal in the game, because what up to that period looked as if Hearts were really raring to go. We just punched them in the gut and winded them with that goal. And then what happened next? Honestly, done Hings to me, people. Genuinely, Hings were done. And let's talk about this next goal then. Just 5 minutes or so later on, Connor Golton once again with the ball at the feet. His intelligence here, his awareness, and just the pass in itself. And I know so many people didn't like him, even though he's not signed a new contract, even though he's not been offered a new contract or anything. I know a lot of people believe in all the hype and that with the Scottish media, what they're saying about this laddie, blah, 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 blah. But if you just look at football and ability, he was phenomenal the day. And what we saw the day as well with this pass we're going to talk about is just absolutely mental. I don't ken many centre-halves that can do this pass. Honestly, it's weighted to perfection, it's curled to perfection. It's a 50-60 yard ball in behind Joe Aribo, where we mentioned earlier in the video where he missed him by that. This time it drops right on the Feetabix feet of our boy Joe Aribo, like he's just laid sugar on top a Weetabix, people. He just drops it right there. The first touch is immaculate, and the second touch isn't bad either, as he just lifts it beyond Craig Gordon, who's no slouch in the goalkeeping department. Honestly, this is one of these rare occasions where the assist matches the touch that matches the finish. That there is gorgeous champagne champions football, and it came for CB number 1. That kind of leads us to the last highlight to actually talk about in the first half. In the 41st minute of the actual game, some beautiful play from Devlin as he gets a wonderful weighted ball in behind the Rangers defence. It finds Liam Boyce, he rattles it, but thankfully Alan McGregor's there for yet another big save, and that kind of takes us into half time. But there is something that I want to talk about, something that I need to poke funny, because this right here was absolutely hilarious. I don't know what it was and why they were feeling sorry for themselves, but these Hearts players and these Heart fans were going absolutely mental with every single decision. I mean, Ganelli, as I like to call him, on the old war zone and everything like that, he rattled a shot 15 yards wide and he's run right to the referee, screaming in his face. The manager, Nielsen, screaming at the fourth official, that's a corner, that's a corner. The replay shows no one go anywhere near it. They're punching the ground, wanting free kicks when they're sliding in from behind against Rangers players. They're moaning at absolutely everything. And honestly, it got to the stage, I started to stress and I started to imagine, can you imagine having to buy a Hearts player a Christmas present? Imagine the pressure you're putting on yourself, because no matter what, people, they'll turn round, they'll hit the ground, they'll scream and they'll moan about it. Thoughts go out to everyone who's buying the players a gift this season. But jumping into the actual football action in the second half, there was a good shot from Gary Mackay freezing on the left, the right hand side. He cuts inside, forces McGregor. You're always expecting a goalkeeper of McGregor's ability to save that, but again, it was showing the actual intent. But again, for me, some of the football that we were playing that I've not even really spoke about was just gorgeous. First touch attacking football. It's gone to Morelos, he's pinging it to Aribo, he's pinging it to Kent. It's all like this, and it's fast, and it had Hearts running all about the place. I think in a couple more weeks and a couple more games of playing like this, we're going to give a team an absolute doing play like this, because we were nearly in, but 5 or 6 times. It almost got to the stage every time we touched the ball and every time Aribo got the ball, we were disappointed when we didn't score. That's the level that we were playing. It was just the final touch, the final pass was just a little bit off tonight. But aye, this is just a couple of games in terms of this first touch passing, 2 touch passing, what we've actually played under Giovanni. If this is going to be us already in such a short period of time moving away from keeping the ball and recycling it to fullbacks, can you imagine what it's going to look like in a couple of months when all the players are up to speed and used to playing like this? Tell you son, we might just be spanking teams rotten. But again, in terms of the flow of the match, every time you started to look at Rangers things, Hearts offered something, and again, B. Janelli was out there on the right hand side. He whips in a dangerous low driven pass. And what I like about Calvin Bassey, a son we talked about in the Lyon game, where he didn't really sort his feet, hit off and went into the back of net. Now he does react here, and yes, he gets lucky because he lifts his leg up and it obviously hits the bar, it doesn't go in and it comes away. But it's just the fact that he's obviously worked on that and he's actually got his feet moving rather than being flat footed and caught with a low-driven cross. It shows you the lad, he's willing to work hard and learn, and again, he is learning because he rattles the bar and gets lucky, but it's the movement for me, and it's the quickness that he's moving his feet from just a couple of days ago that shows me he's putting in the work. But right, let's talk about the 59th minute right to the 68th minute, or what I like to call Chance City, people. And it starts off with Connor Goldson hitting a defence splitting pass right to our boy Alfredo Morelos. Arfield continues that long run from the middle of the park. He goes 1v1 with Craig Gordon. He should score here, but ends up rattling it straight at the old goalkeeper, which was very sore. Now, it had me sitting back saying, can somebody give that laddie a cup of tea? But then a couple of minutes later, I was glad that he didn't have that cup of tea and walking about with that swagger, because Sakala's out here on the right hand side versus Kingsley. And listen, Kingsley's very good at set pieces, but by God, did that boy get turned inside out. It looked like a puppet at one point. Genuinely, Sakala was wearing him like a glove because he just burns past him, hits another dangerous shot to Craig Gordon. He spills it. Arfield a yard away. You think what I'm thinking? He's going to score. The goalkeeper slide in, probably get sent off. That was the fear, but thankfully Arfield didn't react sharp enough and Craig Gordon was able to get there. So delighted he didn't have his tea there, or that could have been an interesting last 25 minutes. But the battle with Craig Gordon and Hearts continued as more gorgeous play. Joe Aribo wins the ball back, hits a beautiful long through ball to Ryan Kent, who's just on his bike. He picks Alfredo Morelos out, who forces Craig Gordon into a save. The ball comes back to him. Morelos does another shot. The Hearts defence is flinging himself. I think Suter gets a wee touch in this one. Gordon saves again. Morelos is alert. He picks the ball. He passes it to Scotty Arfield 6 yards out. But unfortunately, Scotty Arfield rolled this way. Genuinely, the young man could have had a hat-trick this afternoon if it wasn't for the heroics of Craig Gordon and just being a wee bit unlucky as he rolls it just wide. And as you might have noticed with the actual game recap, the game should have been well and truly put to bed, and when you didn't quite finish the actual game off, you always know there's going to be some chances in the other end. And I need to talk about this one first because this one really annoys me, and I think there's going to be a wee bit of a media narrative with this one because Andy Walker was doing all the talking on commentary, and I just want to slap this down right now. In the 65th minute, the ball goes out to the left hand side of Hearts. The ball ends up gone out of play, but for whatever reason, the referee's right there. He continues to play on. The cross comes in. It hits Connor Goldton's hand. Even though he's an inch or two away from his side, it's not gone up or anything like that. It's gone down. It's never ever a penalty kick. But anyway, they play on. Boyce ends up rattling over the bar when he should have burst the back of the net. And then, for whatever reason, instead of mentioning the fact that the ball was clearly out of play before the ball even came in for that, Andy Walker starts talking about if there's VAR, that's a penalty for Hearts and they're right back in the game. No. If there's VAR in Scottish football, that's a goal kick to Rangers because the ball is beyond the line. No penalty BS or helping for Rangers here. Let's stop the media BS. The ball's out. It'd have been a goal kick. And listen, I don't know if the constant moaning and the screaming and that started getting to this referee, but he lost his head for an exact full minute of the actual game. I mean, James Tavernier jumps up to win a header. Devlin comes in, collides with his hip. Tavernier then starts spinning in the air, and on his way down, he connects with Gary Mackay-Stephen with his elbow and his back, right? And then Tavernier gets booked for that. Tavernier was fouled, and on his way down and falling, he connects with the player and gets booked. Honestly, lost the plot. But where I was really annoyed with that booking for Tavernier, because it clearly wasn't a booking, Joe Aribo actually goes for a slide challenge and misses it, and this one is quite clearly a yellow card in a game of football. That's just going to happen now. It's about 35 yards out, but Kingsley steps up here and absolutely just rips a fantastic set piece. It's got power, it's got bend, it's got curl, it's got everything you want. But thankfully for us, it's got that extra added ingredient that we all want. And that's for it no to hit the back of net as it clobbers the actual bar. That's the second time they've rattled the woodwork in the half. But do I care? No. Not at all. But I did mention the referee starting to lose control of the game. He started brandishing yellow cards everywhere. I mean, Ryan Kent got booked for going for a volley, even though the whistle went 8.6 milliseconds before Kent ended up hitting that one. He just started booking people. I was honestly watching the Oprah Winfrey show. You get a yellow card. You get a yellow card. You get a yellow card. Whoever had over 6 bookings in the actual game, you're living life the now and enjoy your actual night. But during this melee and the challenges are starting to come in. Every player's starting to get annoyed. We end up having a challenge on the left flank, where I think is it Devlin that comes in on Barisic. It's just a hard, honest challenge. Again, for me, there's nothing in this. Both players jump up as if there is gonna be Son. But if you go back and you look at it, Barisic and him kind of go, it's just one of the ones. And they've kind of laughed, I wouldn't say laughed it off, but they've kind of talked it out. And they're about to move on. And then Janelli comes in out of nowhere, starts to get in Barisic's face, comes up, puts his head to head, just needless nonsense. Doesn't need to get involved. You look at Devlin, he's saying, right, blah, 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 we'll move on this way. But he comes in and he gets the second yellow card and he's absolutely fuming as he gets sent off. And honestly, that's the most annoyed I've seen our boy since I killed him on Warzone when I was playing with Andy Halliday and all that a couple of months ago, and I went ahead and spray painted his body. He was fuming on that occasion, and he was fuming on this one. But before we do wrap up the game, there was one last little moment that we need to talk about, and it was about the 86th minute where the game was just threatening to die out. It's a little bit slack in the middle of the park. The ball ends up coming to Boyce, who forces a very, very good save from Alan McGregor after he originally pushes out to the left. It's very reminiscent of the goal we conceded versus Motherwell, where there was a rebound on the side and he lifted it over McGregor. Well, this time McGregor's up, makes himself big and makes a big double save. You call that a double McGregor moment. One to deny Boyce at the start of the game and one at the end to deny Boyce at the end of the game. I like that, people, and that's how I like my McGregor. Just simply the best. And that's all I've really got to say about the game. As you can see, it could have went either way, but Rangers' quality was the difference on either end going forward and in the back. If you're looking at man of the matches, honestly, you could pick pretty much anyone from the Rangers team. I really thought Connor Goldson had his best overall game now for a very, very long time, and you all know my bias with the big man, so I'll probably lean that way. But again, you've got to look at Alan McGregor. He keeps you in the game. He's probably the overall man of the match if I wasn't being biased. But I thought Glenn Kamara was excellent. I thought Ryan Kent was brilliant. I thought Joe Aribo was just magnificent again. People, honestly, he's shining like a diamond right now. I thought Sakala was so direct. There was a couple of wee moments with him and Arfield defensively that was a bit iffy, but I'm sure that will be ironed out the more the wee man plays. But very, very delighted, very, very happy. That is my overall man of the match. It's McGregor, but Connor Goldson in itself. What about you? Let me know down there in the old comment section below. And whilst you hopefully get involved in today's video, I will jump over to Twitter and read from the people. So over to Twitter we go, and the first one comes in from Quantum Skyline. What's happening, big man? Hope you're doing well. He writes in, Sakala is quietly tearing up this league. Aye, he is, and there was a moment in the first half where he actually nutmegged himself and put it out for the throw, but instead of throwing a wee hissy fit or moaning or anything, it has a wee laugh with the linesman. Sakala is here to save Scottish football, people, and he's currently doing it. He continues by writing, by the way, the move out wide is genius from Gio. Looks dangerous every time he's on the ball and great distribution every time. Also making a player of Alfie again. This is devastating. Sorry, the camera wrote out there. Graham Wilson wrote in, the great Griggsy. That is all. Connor Ritchie writes in, first half was good. Felt like we sat too much in the second half. Looked like we decided it's theirs to break us down. A win's a win though. Dying for more. My man of the match was McGregor or Aribo. From me, well, keep the zero and you win. If you put 2 goals in one end, you keep the zero, as Big Gio likes to say. You win games of football. Anyway, PVB writes in, Aribo man of the match in the first half. Griggsy crossbar in the second half. Greg writes in, thought it was a really solid performance today. Alan McGregor man of the match for me. We just look better with every game. Yes, yes, yes. Kyle writes in, Griggsy, need I say more? Blue Dell writes in, Griggs, the double save was the icing on the cake, back to his best. Arfield too brought a lot of energy and freshness to the midfield. Yeah, I don't think I'll even be able to mention him too much in today's video, but he was brilliant, and as well a little bit unlucky with his actual finishing. And the last one we read out in tonight's video, scroll all the way down here, scroll all the way down, and we'll stop it right here, and it comes from Steve, and Steve writes in, just brilliant. Gios came in and dusted the place with a shaking vac, and we're smelling like champions. Well, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. You've heard from the people, you've heard from myself. If you haven't done so already, you know what to do by now. And as always, I've been Siege over 92. That has been Rocky Boy Johnson. Take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best, and bye-bye.